Ladies and gentlemen, I have destroyed Arsenal. Not only have I relegated them all the way down to League 2, not only have I got rid of all of their best players, I have left them almost bankrupt, and this has led to Mikel Arteta leaving the club. But don't worry Arsenal fans, because I've got you covered, as I have just been announced as Arsenal's brand new manager. And not only am I once again going to get them into the Premier League, I'm going to win Arsenal their first ever Champions League trophy to crown them the world's best club. But as you can see from the team, this isn't going to be easy because this starting 11 is absolutely awful. No Bukayo Saka, no Gabriel Martinelli, no William Saliba. Arsenal have officially been destroyed. But there are some players we can try to build this new Arsenal team around, like Charlie Patino, only 19 years old, already showing great potential. There's goalkeeper Arthur Okonkwo, only 21 years old, 66 overall. This guy can potentially become an absolute beast. And there's Catalin Serjan, only 20 years old from Romania, and he's got something special as well. And guys, I did say they're in financial ruin as we've only got 3 million to spend in Season 1, and not only that, we've got some rules to follow. Whilst we're in League 2 with Arsenal, we're restricted to 3 million per season. Whilst we're in League 1, it's 5 million a season. When we get to the Championship, it's 7 million a season. But when we finally reach the Premier League again, we'll no longer have any restrictions on our budget. So it's safe to say the quicker we get to the Premier League with this Arsenal side, the better. But as you can see, guys, this is not going to be easy. I mean, for God's sake, we've literally only got substitutes, man. We've got no reserves and absolutely no squad depth. And even the youth academies let us down, man. Not a single player worth bringing into the team, but we are going to just add that little bit of squad depth. As for the Arsenal team itself, I'm changing their formation to the 4-3-3 attacking variation. Now, this will make all the sense in the world in just a moment. And I'm going to partner this up with wing play because I've got a lot of faith in our wingers in this Arsenal team. And after meddling around with the team a bit, this is by a mile the strongest starting 11. And you will have noticed that Serjan is now in the team. This is the main reason why I switched to the 4-3-3 attacking variation, purely to fit him into the starting 11. But now that the tactics are out the way, the question remains, where are we going to put this 3 million? Well, I think a better centre-backs on the cards because Monlouis is definitely not a centre-back that's going to get us promotion in Season 1, is he? And I'm not too keen on Ruel Walters either. Granted, he's only 18 years old, but he's 61 overall. If we are serious about getting Arsenal back to the Prem as fast as possible, this guy has got to take a backseat. And he's going to take a backseat to Central Coast Jacob Farrell. He's only 20 years old, already a much better player than Walters as well. This one for me is a no-brainer. As for the centre-back, I'm going for Augsburg's Bahari Ibrahim, only 21 years old, 63 overall, and his market value's dirt cheap, man. We're getting a bargain with this guy. And after spending a combined total of 2.3 million on both of these players, that's officially our first transfer window done and dusted. And after looking at the team now, guys, I know I made the right call. Farrell and Ibrahim have leveled up our defense. Now, yes, there is an argument that I should have replaced Louis Scully instead, but the thing is, guys, he's only 16 years old. If anybody in the team deserves a chance to show us what he's made of, it is him. The question is, though, now, guys, what constitutes as a good first season in charge of Arsenal? Should we be going for a mid-table finish, or should we be going for automatic promotion? If I'm being honest, I don't really care how we do in Season 1, guys. All I want is this team to massively improve so that in Season 2, if we are still a League 2 side, we'll absolutely cakewalk it. And thankfully, that's exactly what's happened. Look at the developments of these players in Season 1, man. Especially our striker, Mika Bieref, 72 rated at 21 years old. What a player. And not only that, he's our top goal scorer, 32 goals, 2 assists in 57 games. We've got a future superstar in our hands with this dude. Recently converted winger John Jules got 22 goals, 7 assists, 8 and 1 for Mario Kozgia Dewberry. That's not the best, but it's not the worst. Serjan was 7 and 10 as well. Overall, a fantastic season. And with everybody not only looking pretty damn sharp, but pretty damn happy as well, I feel like we've got promotion in Season 1. And that's exactly what we've got, guys. 4 points clear, top of the table. We are League 2 champions. We, however, only make it to round 2 of the FA Cup. And Middlesbrough knocked us out in round 1 of the Carabao Cup. But we've won the Bristol Street Motors Trophy in Season 1. Honestly, I don't care if we hadn't have got promoted this year. This would have been enough for me. This Arsenal team has had an absolutely phenomenal first season. We literally couldn't have asked for any more from them. And the best thing is, because we've been promoted to League 1, we've now got a maximum of 5 million to spend in Season 2. But the problem is, guys, if we are serious about getting back-to-back promotions, I feel like with that 5 million, we are going to have to be incredibly ruthless with it. But before we find out what to do with this money, did you lot know I'm racing increasing this Twitter right here to 100,000 subscribers. I am in the lead at the minute, but I need your help if I'm to win this race. So if you're enjoying this video so far, leave it a big old thumbs up and smash that subscribe button. Now here we are guys, season 2 of Arsenal, and we are officially a League One side. But I don't intend on staying in League One. I want to get back-to-back promotions with this Arsenal team, and I know just how to do it. This may be really harsh, but Miles Lewis-Skelly just simply isn't good enough for the starting 11, especially now that we're in League One, so we are going to buy someone to replace him. I'm also replacing Cozier Dewberry. I know this is also very harsh, but like I've just said, if we are to get back-to-back promotions, we are going to have to be incredibly ruthless. And because of the fact we're a League One side now, we've got 5 million to spend, which means not only can we broaden our horizons when we're looking for players, we can bring in much better players now too. And it's through this I've been able to sign Jake Holman from Wrexham for only 2.3 million. He's only 22 years old, he's 68 overall, a much better centre midfielder than Lewis-Skelly. And following him is Romanian winger Alexei Pitou from Bordeaux, only 22 years old, 68 rated, again a much better winger than the one we currently got, so this is a no-brainer. And he was actually really cheap guys, only costing us 2 million on the dot. But we're officially broke guys, we've got 4k left in the budget, so that's our transfer window done. But I feel like we've done enough to get out of League One this year, man. This team is looking way too strong for League One. Especially with the signings of Jake Coleman in that midfield and Alexei Pitou on the wing. I feel like these pair are definitely going to have a big effect on the team this season. But it's okay me just saying this, these boys have got to perform well on the pitch and actually make promotion happen. And guys, we've just arrived at the end of season 2 and look at these stats. 42 and 5 for Beer, 21 and 6 for P2 and 20 and 13 for Tyrese John Jules. I'm just putting this out there, if we haven't got promoted with those stats, I do not know what more we had to do. And just look at the improvement as well. Arthur Okonkwo, Patino, Beer, Norton Coffey, Surshan, Tyrese John Jules, all improving, all putting in a right shift. It's safe to say, guys, if we haven't been promoted to the Championship this year, next season we've surely got to. But we don't have to wait till next year. We've absolutely battered League One by 20 points in the end with 110 points overall. Oh my god. Guys, we've well and truly decimated League One, man. I thought we did a job on League 2, but this is even more impressive. But Northampton knocked us out of round 2 of the FA Cup, and that is honestly kind of disappointing. And we got knocked out in round 1 of the Carabao Cup as well. And we once again made the Bristol Street Motors Trophy final. This time we lost to, ironically, if I'm not mistaken, the same team we beat last year to win it. But you know what, guys, I'm not really fussed. We've already won the BSM Trophy and we've also won the League One Trophy, which means that next year we go from 5 million to 7 million because we're now a Championship side. And I know exactly where to put that money, guys. I think a better centre-back than Ibrahim is on the cards, especially when you consider just how much of a weak link he actually is in the team compared to the rest of the boys. I mean, look at these ratings, for goodness sake. Majority of our starting 11 players are mid to high 70 overall now. And honestly, I think if we replace Ibrahim with a much better centre-back going into the Championship, we could get back-to-back promotions with the Gunners. But guys, as we arrive into our 3rd year in charge of the Gunners, let's just take a breath and appreciate what we've done. In 2 seasons, we've got them from League 2 all the way to the Championship. That's fantastic. And with the team looking this good right now, it did actually make me wonder, where are the OG Arsenal players at? What are they doing with their lives right now? Well, Bukayo Saka's still playing in the Premier League, but for Newcastle United, now that one I didn't see coming. Martin Odegaard's gone back to Spain, but instead of Real Madrid, he's playing for Atletico Madrid. But look away, Arsenal fans, as Gabriel Martinelli now plays for Liverpool. But back to business now, guys. We've got 7 million to spend in Season 3 now that we're a Championship side. And I've already made it very clear on what I want to do this season. I want to put that money into buying a better centre-back than Bahari Ibrahim. And as luck would have it, I found someone way better than him, 26-year-old Rob Atkinson, who currently plays for Bristol City and he's 75 rated. He's also well within our budget as well, man. Signing Rob Atkinson just sounds like a W all around. And for the grand total of 4.75 million, Rob Atkinson is now officially a Gunner. And I really don't want to get ahead of myself, guys, but I feel like 3 consecutive promotions are definitely on the cards because this team is definitely way too goddamn good for the Championship. I mean, granted, there are some good teams in this league like Burnley, you've got Ipswich Town, you've got Nottingham Forest, Sheffield United, Southampton as well. But now that we've massively bolstered our defence with the signing of Rob Atkinson, and given the fact the rest of the team is absolutely brilliant as well, I really don't see what stops us getting 3 promotions in a row. And judging by these stats, guys, I feel like it's a good possibility. 35-4 for Bira, 28-6 for Tyrese John Jules, and 15-7 for Alexi Patu. And just look at the improvement, man. Patino's gone up by +5, Bira's gone up by +5, Norton Cuffy's up by +5 as well. What a year in the championship we've had stats and development-wise. I'm finding it incredibly hard to believe right now that we haven't got promotion, man. Everything right now is looking like we've at least made the playoffs. But scratch the playoffs, we've gone up to the Premier League as champions of the championship. We got promoted as champions from League 2, we got promoted as champions from League 1, and now finally promoted as champions of the championship. That is genuinely insane. We also made it to round 4 of the FA Cup this time. And we made it to round 4 of the Carabao Cup as well, putting up a really good fight against Premier League side Wolverhampton Wanderers. Honestly, this team is nothing short of incredible, ladies and gents. I'm so proud of how far each and every one of them has come from Season 1. And the best thing is, guys, because we are now promoted to the Premier League, we've no longer got any restrictions on our money, so whatever the board give us, we can spend every single penny of it if we want to. But guys, to be honest, even if we didn't spend any money next year, I feel like this team would defo do a job in the Prem. But the fact that we are allowed to spend money, if we do it properly, we'll be competing for European football. But guys, as we arrive into Season 4, it is official. We have got Arsenal back into the top flight of English football. And with promotion, guys, comes that promotion money. We've got £80 million on the dot to spend in our first season back in the Prem. We can do a hell of a lot with that kind of money. The problem is now, guys, where do we actually put this money? Because majority of this team have been with us since day 1, and they've got us from League 2 all the way back to the Prem. To be fair though, we could replace Jacob Farrell. I mean, he's only 75 overall, he's the weakest link in the team, and when it comes to the Premier League, I'm not too sure how he'd cope with it. We could also replace Rob Atkinson with somebody better as well. I mean, he's 77 overall and one of the weakest links in the team too. And yes, you can make an argument we could replace Holman in that midfield, Serchan as our central attacking midfielder, and also Pito as our left winger. But when we're playing against teams like Liverpool, Man City and Manchester United, I feel like having a stronger defence is more important than having a stronger attack and midfield. And because of this, I spent 25 million on Arsenal OG centre-back Jakub Kiwior. He's still in his mid-20s, he's a far better centre-back than Rob Atkinson. This one is a no-brainer. And replacing Jacob Farrell is Kieran Tierney, who in this save currently plays for Chelsea, and even as a Chelsea fan, this doesn't sit right with me. We've got to sort this out. And for the grand total of 28.8 million, that is exactly what I did. But after renewing everybody's contracts, this leaves us with only 2 million in our budget, so that's our Season 4 transfer window done. But I feel like in that window, we've done what we needed to do. We've bolstered the strength of our defence, so one way or another, we're going into the Premier League prepared for what's to come. But don't get it twisted, guys. I know last year I said if we get the transfers right this season, we'll get European football, but this just isn't going to happen this season. I mean, this team is good. It is very good for a newly promoted team. However, it is not quite ready for European football. But I believe bringing Kieran Tierney back to Arsenal, as well as Jacob Kiwior, we do have a decent shot to gain a mid-table finish, maybe even a top 10 if we're lucky. But judging by these stats at the end of this season, I'm not getting my hopes up too much, because Bierif and P2 are the only real players who put a shift in. But to be fair, we have seen a lot of improvement. I mean, Patino, Bierif, Norton Cuffy and Rakik, just to name a few, have really improved. And as you can see from the overall morale of the team, guys, it is looking really good. In fact, dare I say, the best it's looked at the end of a season. Maybe we've done a lot better than I originally thought. How the hell have we pulled this off? We are top 4 in our first season in the Prem. We've got Champions League football next year. This is actual insanity, man. I thought for sure the best we get this year is 8th in the league, but 4th, I am absolutely buzzing with that. I mean, we did have a bit of a stinker in the FA Cup as Ipswich knocked us out in round 4. And we only made it to round 2 of the Carabao Cup as well, but you know what? We've got Champions League football next season. I cannot be mad at this. And this means next season, not only do we still not have any restrictions on the budget, our budget is going to get massively increased. Which means going into our first season in the Champions League, we can sort out all the weaknesses in our starting 11 and actually have a decent shot at going all the way in our first season in it. And guys, as we enter the new season with Arsenal, I have just taken a step in the right direction in making the Gunners a serious contender in the Champions League this year. As I have just brought back Gabriel Martinelli for 75 million. He's still in his mid-20s, he's 88 overall, he's world class, and he now plays for the Gunners again. And we've still got 98 mil to spend in our budget, guys. We are absolutely minted. And look at that, man. With just the signing of Martinelli, we've got an absolutely phenomenal front three now. I just think it's a case now of replacing Serjan and Holman with stronger and better players, and we are legitimately good to go. So I've just replaced Serjan with fellow OG Arsenal player Fabio Vieira for 29.6 million. He's a much better player than Serjan. He's still relatively young as well. And following in is T-Young Koopmeiners from AS Monaco. Granted, he's not the youngest player in the world, but he's got that experience in European competitions that this Arsenal squad desperately needs now. And just like that, for 40 million on the dot, Koopmeiners is now a gunner. And just look at the starting 11 now, man. It is absolutely phenomenal. Even our bench has got quality and abundance in it. And it's a good job that's the case, because we're in Group C of the Champions League alongside Inter Milan, Benfica and Young Boys. Now, I do fancy me chances of getting out of this group, but I've got a sneaky feeling that Benfica have got a pretty damn good squad now. But our start in the Premier League has been awful, man. 4 games played and we haven't won a single game yet. What is our team playing at? These guys need to put their ideas up, man. It's our strongest team yet it's playing like our worst. I'm just hoping by the end of this season we're nowhere near that relegation zone. And thankfully we were nowhere near the relegation zone. In fact, we've once again got Champions League football next year after finishing 3rd in the Prem. We are still quite a long way before being the best team in England, but we are slowly getting there. We also made the semis of the FA Cup, ironically losing to Manchester City. And we made the quarters of the Carabao Cup this time. Honestly, guys, we are having a pretty solid season all around. And it's just got even better, guys, as we've topped Group C with absolutely flying colours. And we've smashed Stade Rennais in the round of 16 too. But our journey comes to an end in the quarters as Real Madrid just about get the better of us in the quarters. But you know what? For our first season in the Champions League, I'll absolutely take that. Especially when you look at these stats as well. Bierif with 37 and 1, 16 and 12 for John Jules, and 15 and 9 for Gabriel Martinelli. This does put that question out there though, guys. Where the hell do we improve this team next year, man? I mean, Okonkwo's been an absolute G for us since season 1, so I'm not inclined to really replace him just yet. Our defense is absolutely fantastic, our midfield solid, and our front three absolutely know how to score goals too. But that current team this year hasn't won any trophies, and we are still quite a long way before becoming the best team in England. So one way or another, guys, to get us to that next level, we're going to have to figure out a way to improve this team. And if that means being ruthless, that means we're just going to have to be ruthless. And guys, as we arrive into the new season with the Gunners, we've got over $250 million to spend. So honestly, I feel like we've got no choice but to be ruthless. But the thing is, guys, I've thought about it and I know exactly which positions we need to improve to take Arsenal to that next level. Now, last year, Man City won the league, and not only did they do that, they demolished our goal difference by at least 25 goals. So that says to me we need to improve our front three and we need to bolster the strength of our defense just a little bit more. So to bolster our defense, I'm replacing Kieran Tierney with somebody much better and much younger. And I'm going to replace Tyrese John Jules. This one absolutely breaks me up because he's been with us since the beginning, but right now I don't feel like he's good enough to give us what we need. But luckily we are financially absolutely fantastic, and I know the two perfect players to replace Tierney and Tyrese John Jules. The first player being Alejandro Balde from PSG, who we spent 120 million on to replace Kieran Tierney. And it's easy to see why he costs so much. He's still in his mid-20s, he's one of the best left backs in the world, and he's going to take us to that next level. And this leaves us 124 million to sign a world-class right winger, and I think you guys all know who I'm about to sign. That's right, guys, I've brought Bukayo Saka back home to Arsenal for 111.3 million. And just feast your eyes on this team now, man. It is absolutely phenomenal. And not only do we have a good chance of winning the Premier League this year, we've got a great chance of winning the Champions League. As this time we're in Group G alongside Ajax, Athletic Bilbao and Celtic, and honestly, we should absolutely decimate this group. And the start we've had in the Prem this year has filled me with massive confidence. 4 games played, 4 wins, currently undefeated. It looks like signing Alejandro Balde and Bukayo Saka so far has been absolutely the right move. But it's still very early in this season, man. Anything can happen. I'm just hoping that we can do a little bit better than last year. Man City are just impossible. They've once again won the Premier League by 11 points. That goal difference is genuinely disgusting, man. How the hell are we going to beat Man City? But we do have good news. We finally nearly won the FA Cup, smashing Hull City 4-2 in the final. And we've once again made the quarters, this time getting knocked out by Palace, although I really do feel like we should have made it to the semis at least. But it's good news in the Champions League. We didn't top the group like I wanted, but we still make it to the round of 16, where we just about get past Dortmund. And we've gone on to absolutely demolish Atletico in the quarters. Oh my god. We could be playing PSG, PSV, Man City. Oh, give me PSV. Please give me PSV. Well, I'll be damned. We face Man City and actually come out on top. We're playing PSG, who've absolutely wiped the floor with PSV in the final. But PSG's team is no joke. Look at the state of that starting 11. They are legitimately the final boss of career mode, aren't they? But our stats this year are beyond impressive. Biereth with 37 goal contributions, 18 and 14 for Saka, 18 and 8 for Martinelli, and even Koopmeiners and Vieira getting on the action as well. I mean, in fairness, that is pretty shocking for Vieira, but you know what? We're in the Champions League final. I'll let this slide. And this is the starting 11 going into the Champions League final. Absolutely world-class players all around the pitch, and honestly, I feel like we got a good chance of beating PSG. 6 years ago, Arsenal had all of their best players leave them, relegated to League 2 and left financially in ruins, but since then, we've built this team back up, introduced world-class talent, brought some of the OGs back, and now we have a chance to make them the best team in the world. The question is, can they do... Oh, come on. Really? PSG, man, come on. You can't be doing that. We can't beat Man City in the Prem, and we can't beat PSG in the Champions League final, man. It's like we're up against two final bosses, both in the Prem and in the Champions League. I don't know what more we could have done to win the Prem and UCL this year, man. I feel like I'm out of ideas at this point. But we've just got to take the L and move on from this point. There's quite clearly still some improvement left to make. Otherwise, we would have won the Prem and we would have won the Champions League. The question is, what improvements do we actually need to make? Now, guys, we're in our 7th year in charge of the Gunners. We've been given 149 million to spend, 100 less than last year, but thankfully, I know where we need to put this money. I've been so focused on improving the starting team, I've been completely forgetting about our bench. I mean, for the most part, it is decent, but we've got a 72 rated goalkeeper, for crying out loud. And our second choice striker, 72 rated. No wonder we can't get the better at Manchester City. We've got no quality to back up the quality on the starting 11. But we do have to think about one player in the starting 11, guys. Fabio Vieira. He hasn't exactly been amazing for us since he's joined us, has he? I mean, he's not a bad player, don't get it wrong. He's just not playing very well at the minute. So I'm going to give him one last chance to show me why he deserves to be in this team. Otherwise, next year he can get gone. So we're just going to use this money in Season 7 to improve our depth on the bench, and hopefully this actually works. As the first signing I'm going to make is Paris Brunner from Liverpool. He's only 23, he's a very goddamn good player, and let's be real, guys, it never really hurts to weaken our opposition in the Prem. And following him is Werder Bremen goalkeeper Andre Gomez, a very young goalkeeper with a good amount of ability. He'll definitely do a job as a second choice keeper. And for the total sum amount of 79.2 million, both of these players have just become Gunners. And this leaves us 59 million to bring in a second choice centre back, and I found the perfect player for the job. I have just signed Ricardo Calafiori from West Ham United for 49.7 million. This guy's in his mid-20s, he's a very good player, built like an absolute brick house as well, the perfect choice for a second choice centre-back. And there we go, with just a few signings, that subs bench looks absolutely fantastic and ready for whatever this season has to throw at it now. And it's a good job, guys, as we are once again in the Champions League in Group G this time, alongside Leverkusen, KRC Genk and Feyenoord. And I'm just hoping that Leverkusen in this save aren't as good as they are in real life, otherwise we're in for a rough ride. Especially after the start we've had, guys. 1 win, 2 draws from 3 games. I know we're still undefeated, but this just really isn't good enough for the quality we've got in our team. I mean, the starting 11 is absolutely world class. We've got no excuses there. And we've massively improved our depth on the bench as well with the signings of Ricardo Calafiori, Paris Brunner and Andre Gomez. We've got no excuses this year, man. We've done everything right in the transfer window. We have to finally win the Premier League, and we have to finally get our hands on their first ever Champions League too. So guys, it is the moment of truth. We're at the end of Season 7. Let's see if we finally got the Gunners a Premier League title. It's looking good so far. Oh my god, it's once again between ourselves and Manchester City. The question is, have we finally done enough to beat them? Have we won the Premier League title? We've finally done it with the Gunners. We lost 2 all season, almost replicating their invincible season, but regardless, we have finally become the best team in England. And we did it in convincing fashion as well, man. We swamped them on goal difference and beat them by 10 points to the title. Get in. They did, however, beat us to win the Community Shield, but you know what? They can have the Community Shield. I'll take the title any day of the week. We've also once again won the FA Cup as well. But we didn't win the Carabao Cup. Liverpool made sure of that in round 4. But this is a great start in the UCL, top of Group G with flying colours. We proceed to the round of 16. And that's where we absolutely obliterate Dortmund. Oh my God, we taught them a lesson in football. And we've beaten PSG in the quarters. Guys, we've beaten the final boss of the Champions League. It's literally up for grabs now. We could be playing Leverkusen, Salzburg, or Atalanta in the semis. Oh my God, give me Salzburg or Atalanta. I beg, do not give me Leverkusen. We got Leverkusen and beat them anyway. Oh my God, this is absolutely nuts. We're playing Atalanta in the final. I swear to God, though, I swear to God, if we don't beat Atalanta in the Champions League final, we have just blown the biggest opportunity to win the UCL we'll ever have with Arsenal. I mean no disrespect when I say this, that team is not on our level. It is nowhere near on our level. We've got to batter these guys. I mean, have you seen these stats, ladies and gents? Biereth and Martinelli were on absolute smoke this year. Guys, it's our second Champions League final in a row. Last year, we lost ultimately to PSG, who this year we beat to get to the final. But this year, we're up against Atalanta, and no disrespect intended, we have to beat them, man. Can we win Arsenal's first ever Champions League? We've just about done it. Martinelli in the 74th, Martinelli again in the 32nd, and our striker in the 19th. We finally got Arsenal their first ever Champions League trophy. Oh, this wasn't easy, man. I know that we absolutely decimated League 2, 1 and the Championship, but the Premier League was absolutely no joke. But in the same season, we become the best team in England. We become the best team in the world. And that is our job done with Arsenal, guys. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like on it, smash that subscribe button, help me beat Raman to 100,000 subscribers. And if you enjoyed me doing this with Arsenal, you should click right here to watch me do this with Manchester United.